Hello, everybody, and welcome to York City Chronicle. I am Connor, and today I'm going to be giving you my League 2 predictions. Now, I see that York City are favourites, fourth favourites, I believe, to win the league. Okay, bookie from the bookies. That would be amazing, of course, absolutely. I don't think we will. Okay, I think it's very easy to get behind the hype. I think it's a new league. Do I want us to win the league? Absolutely. Do I want automatic promotion? Absolutely. But maybe it's a case of maybe I'm putting a cap on my expectations, and maybe I'm putting a cap on my expectations. Like I'm putting us way lower than we will finish. But I think it's a new league. I think it's a different kind of league. We have a strong squad. We've recruited well, but in my opinion, your first season in a brand new league needs to be survival. Okay, in my opinion, when you've just come up to a new league, if you finish 1 point above relegation, that's a good season because you've saved yourself. You haven't gone straight back down. Then you go up from there. However, we've seen many back-to-back promotions throughout the leagues. Don't happen, of course. But first, let's get into it, and we'll get to that when it's York's. I'm going to be giving my predictions, and then I will also give you the bookies' favourites and the odds of each team winning the league, courtesy of Sky Bet, and we'll go from there. Finishing in 24th rock bottom, I have Newport. Now, they struggled last season, as did most of the teams in the bottom five that I have predicted here. But I just don't think Newport have recruited well. I don't think they're going to have changed much, and I don't see them doing anything special to survive. There's others that could do worse, of course. That's the point of predictions. But to me, as I say, I think my bottom four especially, you could interchange them as much as you want. I just had to settle. So 24th for me is Newport. 23rd, I have Crawley Town. Crawley, which is York's first game of the technical beginning of the season. We have them in the preliminary round of the Carabao Cup, which you will get a matchday vlog for. And as I say, you could interchange. You can interchange for the bottom four teams, but to me, I don't see Crawley doing anything special. Two had to go down, and I think Newport feels like the most certain, and I think Crawley. I think other teams might just pip survival, so I'm going for Crawley Town. 22nd, I have Cheltenham, and again, interchange. I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to do much. And I've also got 21st, Accrington Stanley. Who are they? I think they're guaranteed to go down. As you can see at the side, Newport odds of winning the league at 80-1. Crawley is 40-1. Cheltenham and Accrington 50-1. So Crawley statistically have a better chance and are more of a bookie's favourite. But as I said, any of these four teams, two are going down in my opinion. But I think Accrington and Cheltenham will just clinch survival by maybe a couple more draws or something along those lines. 20th, I have Shrewsbury Town. Shrewsbury haven't had much come in terms of solid recruitment, especially in comparison to other teams. Last season, they finished 19th, and I think their poor run of form towards the end of the season, they won one of their last five, drew two, lost two. But they also finished on a minus 27 goal difference. I just don't see that improving. And I think Shrewsbury, while remaining in the league, I think they're finishing in the bottom five. Shrewsbury are sat on a 33-1 chance of winning the league, according to the bookies. Let's get 19, 18, and 17th out of the way because I don't feel like we need to go in depth too much with each one. 19th, I have Fleetwood. 18th, I have Tranmere. And 17th, I have Exeter. Again, none of these teams had a particularly strong season last season. Fleetwood finished 15th, which is not to be knocked at, 9 places above relegation. Tranmere 21st. And Exeter finished. Oh, Exeter came down, didn't they? I think Exeter came down. Sorry, my browser's just closed. There we go. Yeah, Exeter came down on 21st, finished 21st in League One. I really think they're going to they're going to struggle in League Two. We got my notes back here. I think they're going to struggle in League Two. I think there's a lot of inner workings that are going against Exeter. I think Exeter are on the road to becoming one of those League Two limbo teams, and I think this is the start. I think they're going to have a particularly stinky first season in League Two. But you never know. They could absolutely go back up. I just don't personally see it. Fleetwood 33-1, Tranmere 33-1, and Exeter 28-1. So Exeter only just pipping Fleetwood and Shrewsbury in terms of the odds. Finishing in 16th, I have put Rochdale. Rochdale obviously won the playoffs last season. They only just missed out on the league because of the absolutely insane final day of the season against York. You could argue they only lost the league because of their own fans pitch invading, which probably true, but the game wasn't over, and that's kind of a karma situation. But they absolutely deserve to come up, and they managed to get it done in the playoffs. That being said, I don't think their recruitment has been as strong as ours. I think similar to us, their goalkeeper situation, where obviously Watmuff was on loan, so of course loan players go, but I think he was so instrumental to them that that's going to be a huge loss. And I think 16th, as I've said, the same applies for Rochdale, right? In my opinion, the first season, if they finished in 22nd, it's a successful season because they've come up and stayed up. And I do truly believe that. However, I'm putting them at a 16th place finish, which I don't think is bad at all. And they are also on a 28-1 bookies favourite to win the league, which is the same as Exeter, which you can't really turn your nose up at a team who's just come down. And Exeter came down in the highest spot. Like they were 21st. 20th is survival in League One. 21st. So they were the best of the worst, essentially. And they've got the same odds as Rochdale for winning the league. I think Rochdale are going to be absolutely fine. And I look forward to those home and away games. 15th, I've got Crewe Alexandra. I think they're pretty notorious for just being a middle of the pack team. They finished 11 last season, 13th in the 24-25 season, and they finished 6th in the 23-24 season, so obviously a playoff place. But I don't see much of a rise coming from them this season. So another mid-table finish, in my opinion, for Crewe. 14th, I have Oldham. Oldham finished 10th last season, but to be fair, that was down to the final game of the season, which before that they were sat in 13th or 12th, I believe. So the last game of the season, obviously good, but the form before that wasn't great, and I think they're in for another mid-table finish. Again, I don't see much of a charge coming from them. League Two personified, essentially, at this point, I think. So I think that's just That's just where they're placing. They do have slightly better odds than Crew. Crew was sitting at 22-1, as you can see. But let's get 13, 12, 11, and 10 out of the way. They all have the same bookies' favourites here. Bookies' favourites, bookies' odds, I should say. So Oldham 14th, Northampton, I'm putting 13th, Colchester, I'm putting 12th, Swindon, I'm putting 11th, and Walsall, I'm putting 10th. All five of those teams from Walsall to Oldham are 18-1 favourites. Again, favourites in the right word. That's their odds. Yeah, I think very middle of the road. So now let's talk about why we're all here. I am putting York. I'm putting York ninth. I think that is an overachieving season. As I've said many times, survival is what matters. Anything else is a bonus. York's odds of winning the league are 9-1, which puts them. Actually, at the time of recording, that is like third, fourth. Yeah, fourth. Still fourth. Yeah, fourth favourites to win the league. Which would be amazing, and I want that, of course, but I think as a football fan, especially when you've been promoted, especially in a new season, especially before a ball has been kicked, it's very easy to over-egg the pudding, right? Because we're all on a high from being promoted. We're all on a high from a 100-point-plus season. We're all on a high from winning the National League title on the final day against, the biggest competition we had. We're all on a high from the Uglers bringing in some incredible talent. It's understandable to be overexcited, but I think there needs to be a term of realism. Again, do I want us to win the league? Of course. Do I want promotion? Without a doubt. I'll be honest, the league is a cherry on top. Promotion is the best outcome. Just getting promoted and out of this league would be amazing. The title is just a cherry on top. I think that's my view, personally. And I think ninth is an incredible finish for York. It's only 2 places off of playoffs, so if we were to finish 7 and get playoff, I wouldn't be too shocked. We'll come back to this video at the end of the season. We'll react and we'll see, just how off I was. But I do see York finishing in 9th place, and I'd be happy with that, man. I'll be honest. Now, 8th, I'm going for Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers odds are 15-2, so they are more of a favourite than York to win the league. But I just think I know they've just come down. They haven't just come down, sorry. It's a different team. I'm misreading my notes. No, they finished 14th. So, a more successful season. They're looking good as a team, and I think they'll have a much more successful season than finishing 14th. But I do think they are just going to be like York, where they're around the playoffs, I'm predicting 8th place, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them finish anywhere between 10th and 6th, realistically. Into the playoff places, I will go through 7th to 4th here because that is playoff. 7th, I've got Gillingham. 6th, I've got Grimsby. 5, I've got Barnet. And 4, I've got Port Vale. Gillingham 18-1, Grimsby 11-1, Barnet 15-2, Port Vale 10-1. Obviously, Port Vale and Grimsby have just come. Did Grimsby just come down? Or did they finish 7th? 7th, sorry, yeah. So Grimsby and Barnet are in the running there. They were last season's finished. Grimsby finished 7th, Barnet finished 8th. So they are in the running. Gillingham finished 17th, but for some reason, I just have a feeling. I've got a feeling about Gillingham. I think they're going to have a very, very good season. I could be way off and they could finish fucking 17th, whatever. That's the point of a prediction, right? I'm not a mind reader. I can't tell the future. I just have to go with my gut. And I just feel like a team who have been in the league a lot longer than York have, well, even if it's not a lot longer, they've been in longer, I think they have more chance of a very good push. And I feel like Gillingham are going to have a very, very good run. Could I be wrong? Probably. But we all like an underdog, right? And again, curbing my own excitement is why I haven't gone for York for the thingy. Swap York and Gillingham. York 7th, Gillingham 9th. Happy days. Buzzing with that. But I think we're going to get a real underdog story there. Do I think they win the playoffs? No. No, I don't. But I think they're going to have a good charge. Grimsby, obviously, finished, like I say, 7th. So I've got them for 6th. There's not much different there. They've got a decent squad. They've got decent enough form. They don't ball too much as of late. So I think they'll be there. Barnet, again, they finished 8th. I've got them in 5th. Slightly better season, can see it. And Port Vale obviously got relegated and joined League Two. I think they're going to have a good run. To be intention to go right back up. Could they go automatic? Of course, I've put them in 4th. They could get 3rd or 2nd, but I think they're going to be in a shout for the playoffs. Now, automatic promotion. 2 places. I've got Chesterfield in 3rd with 10-1 odds to win the league. Obviously, they finished 6th last season. Very decent run towards the back end of the season. Didn't lose in their last 5, and I think they're going to have a very good run. I can see them going up. They play decent football. Don't mind watching them. And in 2nd, I have Rotherham, who obviously came straight down. I think they're going to go straight back up. I just think they've got one of the stronger teams in the league. I just think that's going to happen. It is what it is. They're 12-1 favourites, so I've got Chesterfield and Rotherham going up automatically. And finally, probably a lot of people's prediction to win the league. It doesn't make me out of the box thinking here, but I think Salford are taking it. I'm pretty sure they're the bookies' favourite, actually. Let me quickly check Sky Bets. EFL League 2. Straight winner. Yeah. So as of the time recording, Salford are 7-1 favourites to win the league. So, yeah, they've got the infrastructure, they've got the money behind it, they've got the appeal, the class of '92 of bringing whoever they want to bring in. Fair enough, but I think it's going to be an interesting season. Don't get me wrong. Do I want to be wrong about York? Absolutely, I want us to be higher. Do I think we will be? Maybe I'm just stopping myself from getting too overexcited, but it is what it is. I think important notes here. Newport and Crawley I've got to go down. York to finish 9th. Rochdale to finish 16th. I think Gillingham are going to have a underdog story level run. Chesterfield and Rotherham to go up automatically, and Salford to be crowned champions. Let me know what you think down below. Let's keep it nice and chilled. We're all just taking guesses at this point, and I'll catch you guys next time.